daughter's boyfriend, 48-year-old restaurant manager Jackie Kimbrell. The Bridges say Jackie burned their daughter's CDs. Jackie is countersuing for the return of luggage.
Order. All rise. This is case number 342 on the calendar in the matter of Bridges versus Kimbrell. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
You're Mrs. Bridges?
Yes, ma'am.
And who are you?
I'm Mr. Bridges, David.
Well, you weren't there during the course of this incident that brings us to court today.
No, ma'am.
Is that right? So why don't you have a seat?
Okay.
Tell me your first name.
Brittany?
Brittany, you have a boyfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
Your boyfriend is her stepson.
Yes, ma'am.
Is your boyfriend here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Boyfriend. According to your complaint, you were at the defendant's house. You were having an argument with your boyfriend. The argument got kind of loud. The defendant, the stepmother, came outside. There was some sort of an altercation, and at the end of this altercation, according to you, the defendant burned up all of your CDs.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing for the value of those CDs and also some mental anguish. And she has a rather interesting defense to the CDs, although she acknowledges she burned them, correct?
That's right.
When did this incident occur?
July 3rd.
And you were at the defendant's home.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing there?
Me and my boyfriend went up there to go swimming
How long has he been your boyfriend?
for nearly 2 years.
So you know the defendant very well.
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume that you had always had a nice relationship with her.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happened on this particular day when you went over there to go swimming?
Well, me and him got into an argument, and she came out there and was asking, she was in our argument, and
What did she say?
she was just trying to, ask us what was going on, and we told her, and she was like, well, y'all don't need to be fighting and all this. Then she started getting ill with Rodney. So Rodney
She started to get what?
ill and was just starting to holler at Rodney.
Where was this argument taking place, Brittany?
We were walking down from the pool house when me and him was arguing, going to the house, and then she came outside.
Were you yelling? Were
No,
you
ma'am.
raising your voices?
No, ma'am.
What were you arguing about?
The tanning bed.
Tanning bed.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
We were arguing who was going to get in first. It was stupid.
Okay. So she came out and she started hollering at the boyfriend,
Yes, ma'am.
her stepson.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
And then Rodney just told her that we wanted to leave. So he went to the house and got all his clothes and put them in his car, and her car was parked behind his car, which was in the garage. And it was blocked in, and he asked her, he said, will you move your car? And she said, no, y'all are not leaving. He said, yes, we can leave if we want to. And she said, no, I'd like to see y'all leave. So that time, Rodney just said, look, I'm going to call your mom and see if we can call the police to get my car out of the way. And so we walked over to the side of the house and called the police. And that time, she had walked over there and got in his car and got all of his clothes and my CDs. We didn't know what was going on. Then her granddaughter and grandson came over there and told us that she was burning all of our stuff.
What happened next?
We ran over there, and Rodney kicked over the 55-gallon drum to see if anything was saved, and everything was burned.
Was there a fire in the 55-gallon
Yes, ma'am.
drum? What was in the fire?
All his clothes and my CDs.
So what happened after you saw your stuff burning?
Well, she was yelling at me, trying to fight me.
What do you mean try to fight you?
She told me, when we went over to the fire, she was like, get off my property, and we were like, okay. And then she was chasing me out into the road, trying to fight me for I don't know what reason.
All right, Miss Kimbrell, let me hear your version of these events.
Okay, they were out in the yard fighting. First, my husband went out, and he couldn't stop them, so I went out, and they had went back up to the pool. And I asked them what happened, and Brittany said it was her fault. And I said, Rodney, no matter whose fault it is, you don't need to be talking to her like that, and you don't need to be cussing. Our neighbors...
Is that what he was doing? He was cursing?
Very badly. Both of them were cursing. And I told him not to do that because our neighbors had called and could hear them, and our 2 grandchildren was there and heard it. So they came running back down to the house, and Rodney went into the bathroom, got his clothes out of the dryer, and he said he was leaving. But now his car was in my carport because it wouldn't run. It wouldn't even crank. So I knew he couldn't go nowhere, but I did ask him to leave. And my daughter Summer had came up, and something had happened earlier that day that I don't really know, but Brittany and Rodney and Summer were arguing. Well, when she came up, they started again. And I was trying to stop them, and when Summer walked over, Rodney pushed her back, and then when he pushed Summer, I started over there, and he just, pushed me. And when Brittany was cussing us, Rodney was standing there with his hands out like this, letting her cuss. And I just said, would you please call your mother to come get you, Brittany? So Rodney looked at his daddy and said something really bad. And I don't know if, I should say that, but it was really said no effing body could whip him. And then he looked at me and he told me something really bad that it's hard to say, but he took off running when he said it. And I got mad when he said that because it hurt me because I'd really been good to Rodney.
How long have you been married?
We've been married 13 years, but now we've raised Rodney most of those years he's been with us. And I grabbed his clothes, what few he had gotten out of the dryer, and I took them up to the barn and I burned them. And the CDs that was in there, I didn't see those when I grabbed the clothes. They just got mixed up because they was in the front seat of the car. And when I threw them over, I saw the case. It was a very small little CD case. And they were not Brittany's CDs.
How do you know that?
Well, they were Rodney's, and they was, in his car.
How do you know that?
Well, they had his name on them.
She says that they were her CDs.
No,
but in
ma'am.
a case that had his name on it.
It said Rodney Loves Brittany on the case. It didn't have just his name on it. I've got his CD case here, and I've got the CDs that was burned, the cases for them, what I had.
She had not said anything about the CDs at all until later that night when her stepdad called me and asked me for $600 to pay for the CDs.
I've got the burnt CDs too.
No, I believe that they were her CDs.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This one is called Mo Thugs, DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Did you ever hear of Barry Manilow?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 16-year-old Brittany Manis says her boyfriend's stepmother, Jackie Kimbrough, burned her CDs.
What's important is, Miss Kimbrough, you're the mother. You acted out of anger when you burned the stuff. And certainly I'm not excusing young kids who were outside in front of your house embarrassing you in front of your neighbors, cursing. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for you, nor your husband, to become involved. According to Brittany, you had always had a pleasant relationship. So you think she was just having a bad day, or were you and Rodney outside?
We weren't cursing.
No?
No, ma'am.
Well, what do you think Mr. Kimbrough came outside for?
We weren't cursing. We might have been raising our voice, but we wasn't
Okay, so
loud.
now we're raising voices. So
We
first you
wasn't
told me
loud.
you weren't raising voices, now you're raising voices. Did Rodney say something to his dad that was nasty?
Well, he said it to her,
He
to
said
Jackie.
it to both of us. He said
He
it to
hugged his
Roger.
dad and said it to Jackie.
Were you outside when he said that?
Yes, ma'am.
There were neighbors who lived close by?
I don't know how close. I don't know if there's somebody that lives right next door, but I know somebody lives in the trailer down the road.
There was a neighbor sitting directly across the house from me. His trailer sits in front, and he was sitting in his yard.
There isn't a question in my mind, Miss Kimbrough, that these CDs belong to Brittany. How many CDs were in your case?
31.
31!
Yes, ma'am.
How large was this case?
It was about this big, but we had them back to back, like 2 or 3 CDs in one little packet.
How do you know there were 31 CDs in there?
Because I've got all the CD cases that I had in there, most of them.
But what do you mean most of them?
And that's just most of the CD cases that I have that I haven't lost. But I've written down all the names of the CDs.
Let me see them.
It was a very small CD case.
I think, Miss Kimbrough, you were probably
Here's
so
Rodney's
angry.
CD case, and here's the list.
You didn't much care what the CD case looked like. You just made a big grab
I was
for
very
every...
upset.
You just made a
Things
big
he said to
grab
me,
for
but it
everything.
wasn't
Here's the
small
list
case.
of the CDs.
These are the cases that are now empty. Is that
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 empty cases. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. That's the ones that I could find.
Now, those are the only ones you're going to get. Now, you have a bill for these? How much were they?
We found the approximate amount for the 31 that was in there.
Forget 31. You have proof of these, 14. Let me see what kids listen to. 18 rock hard hits, 504 boys, B-O-Y-Z.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Booty Mix 4.
They've never been allowed to listen to him at my house.
This one is called Mo Thugs.
That has
Some
two
guys
CDs.
look like I sentenced a couple of years ago. Dr. Dre.
Yeah, that's right.
Is he a physician?
Not really.
Master P. Now here are 4 normal-looking girls.
Destiny's Child.
Very nice-looking girls. Normal. DMX. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. What happened to Benny Goodman?
He was replaced by Bootleg Booty.
Bootleg Booty. Oh, Master P again. Who's the big fan of Master P?
Me.
You are.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever hear of Barry Manilow?
No, ma'am.
Never heard of Barry
No,
Manilow?
ma'am.
Okay. Now, if you're asking me about the worth of these albums, since you don't have receipts for them, right?
We don't usually keep our receipts for CDs.
How much do they cost?
On the average, about $15 a CD.
$210, 14 times 15, that's the average. What are you doing sitting over there? Who did you come to court with today?
Brittany?
Your Honor, I tell you the reason Rodney's here today is because he was threatened by David and Tammy to come to court, or at the time this happened, Brittany was 15 and Rodney was 19. And if Rodney will admit to telling the truth, this is what was said. They said that they was going to get him for a statutory rape if he didn't come to court and be a witness for Brittany. And said they'd never let him see Brittany again.
Your Honor, that is not true.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 16-year-old Brittany Manis says her boyfriend's stepmother, Jackie Kimbrell, burned her CDs.
Okay. On the CDs, you're going to get
What
$210.
about my-
Forget your mental anguish.
My bathing suit.
What?
My bathing suit top of my picture, she still hasn't returned.
Do you have any of that stuff?
I have her bathing suit top, but she came in the house and got everything else.
No, ma'am, I did not
that
go in
belonged
their
to her.
house.
Whatever. I don't have anything else in the complaint about anything else. You have her bathing suit top? Give her a bathing suit top.
Okay.
As far as your lawsuit, which seeks damages for mental anguish of $1,500 because you saw your CDs burn, you better go and wash out your mouth. And when you learn not to cuss at adults, then we'll talk about mental anguish. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They had a pretty good argument, and I went out to break it up, and like I said, they just kind of turned on us.
I don't care what they said to them or cussed or whatever. They're adults and they're children.
I just hope everybody can get along now.
And now the next case.
All parties on Trimble versus Maurer. Step forward, please.
41-year-old accountant Julie Trimble is suing her ex-boyfriend, 34-year-old handyman Jeffrey Maurer, for a series of unpaid loans to pay his bills.
All right, let's cut to the chase, Miss Trimble. You lived with this man for 3 years, according to your complaint, and say that over the course of the 3 years, he built up a debt to you for miscellaneous bills and expenses. He finally decided to leave sometime in October of this year. He gave you a check, packed his bags, and left.
Correct.
And now you went over all your bills, and you want him to pay a whole bunch of money that he hadn't paid over the 3 years you were living together.
Correct.
Did he ever sign a note to you?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Did he ever sign a lease with you?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Did you have a lease agreement with him, even though it wasn't in writing?
No, ma'am, I did not.
So what do you think he owes you for?
Over the course of 3 years, I just basically went back from last December. He was living with me. We were boyfriend and girlfriend, and he had agreed to pay a third of the rent and the utilities because it was myself, my daughter, and him living there. And he also had incurred a lot of personal expenses that he didn't have the means to pay at the time. So I loaned him money on just various things, paying for his utility bills at a house that he was refurbishing.
Well, what was the repayment agreement? If you say you made these loans to him, what was the repayment agreement?
That I would pay these bills for him, and he would pay me as soon as he got back on his feet.
What if he never got back on his feet?
Well, his whole contention was that he was rebuilding this house of his, and he was going to sell the house, and he also had a truck that he was trying to sell, and with those proceeds he was to reimburse me for all of these expenses. I have a ledger that I made up for him. I used to give him periodically, plus I have backup of all of the utilities, the groceries, all of the personal checks.
Ms. Trimble, we don't do that in court. If two people decide to live together without benefit of marriage, and then they break up, which they do more than 50% of the time, probably more than 80% of the time, and then come to courts and say, listen, we lived together for 3 years, we lived together for 10 years. During that time, I paid for this, and he was supposed to pay me back, and he never did, and that was 3 years ago or 5 years ago. If you expect courts to get involved with that, you're barking up the wrong court. I tell you that. Put your hand down. I didn't ask you anything.
Yes, sir.
Good. Women do this. It seems to me women do it a lot more often than men. Women say, I'll take care of him. He promised as soon as his uncle straightens out, he's going to give you the money. As soon as he puts his life in order. As soon as he gets the house built. As soon as he sells the truck. Some people never get their lives in order, Miss Trimble.
Right. Well,
And he did give you a check when he left.
Yes, he did.
And in what amount was that check?
That check was for $2,200.
He said it was $2,800. You have the check?
Yes, I have the check here, and
I'd
yes,
like to see it.
I was mistaken. It is $2,200.
Can I see it, please?
And also 2 other checks that I gave her within weeks of leaving anyway. So I actually gave her over $3,000.
Who crossed out paid in full?
I did when I cashed the check.
No, you can't do that, Miss Trimble.
He hadn't paid me in full.
No, Miss Trimble, you can't do that, madam. What you are alleging is that over the course of 3 years, you advanced money to this man.
Correct.
And he gave you a check at the time you terminated your living arrangement, and he had written on the check, loan payoff paid in full. You accepted the check, and then you cashed it. If you choose not to accept this check as full payment of all loans, you don't cash it. Give it back to him.
What?
And let me finish. Okay. And you say to him, I'm not accepting this check. Give me another check that just says partial payment on loans, and then we have an agreement that this was partial payment on the loan. But you cannot take a check and change the face of the check and cash it and say he still owes me more money. You can't do that.
Well, at the time that he had given me that check, he left it laying on my table, moved out, and I had no way to get a hold of him. So my only best interest was to go there, cash the check at his bank the next morning when they opened, so I would at least be guaranteed part of the money that he owed me.
And that's what you were guaranteed, and that's what you're going to get. Period. Who are you?
I'm a friend of hers.
You know anything about the law?
No, I don't.
Good.
But I'd like to add something, Your Honor.
About
You're
what?
saying the loan. Rent and
just a
utilities
sec.
are not loans.
Thank you
She
very
don't pay
much.
the
I didn't
rent.
ask for an instruction in the law. The law is that you accept a check in full payment of all outstanding loans, and you've accepted that check. You cannot change that check and say, it's not all that you owe me. Now you owe me more. So, Ms. Trimble, be smarter the next time. Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The man got in trouble.
Her money when she returns the engagement ring.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. Now, this is case number 574 on the calendar in the matter of Klein versus Collier. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Klein, the defendant is your former fiancé who you claim owes you for a car loan.
Yes.
A loan which was taken out in your name. He signed a note, according to you. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
He was paying the note, I assume, for a period of time, and then
Yes,
when
he
you
did.
broke up, he stopped paying the car loan. You want that. In addition, you want some miscellaneous expenses that you had to incur in order to get him out of your apartment. The defendant, Mr. Collier, says that you have the engagement ring worth $3,000, you have his motorcycle worth some more money, and that you agreed that when you separated, it would be sort of a clean slate, and there wouldn't be any debts. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's start with the car loan. You acknowledge the loan.
Yes.
How much is left on the loan?
$4,800 and some change.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So you tell me, Mr. Collier, why you believe you are not responsible for this loan.
Well, I felt, Mrs. Judge Judy, that when we got engaged February 8th and that everything was going good, and that Wednesday, for some reason, she starts freaking out, calling my gym, seeing if I'm at the gym or not. And so I come home and say, what's going on? She goes, I just want to believe that you really love me. And I said, well, Christine, why did you take the ring and start acting like this? Then that Thursday, she went through my cell phone bill, called a couple of friends, asked if we had sexual relationships. And, you know, they said no. One told her yeah, and said that, you know, we did 3 times, and I tried to tell her we didn't. I don't, you know, and the girl goes to my gym. So then I said, you know, we can't do this anymore. Let's get our own, I'll get my own apartment, I'll move out. She agreed with that. She actually was going to sign for me to get the apartment because we didn't know if I would be able to get it in my name. We went out and looked that day. They turned me down when they saw my credit. Then we went through another week.
And were you still living together?
Yeah, we're still together. She asked me to stay away from home as much as I can. So I said, okay, no problem. I would stay at the gym as long as I could. Come home, I was sleeping on the sofa. So then we went through that week. The 21st came up. We went to a Laker game together. Having fun, drinking. Everything was going good still. I think, okay, we'll still, I'll get my own apartment. We'll try to make it work. If we can't, we can't. That Saturday, we both get up to go to the gym. She goes to her gym, I go to my gym. She goes, are you going to take the dogs for a walk? I said, yeah, I am. She goes, well, I'll go with you guys. We went for a walk. I went off to the gym. I said, I'll be home at 12. We'll go look for an apartment. I get home. There was 2 officers there with my stuff outside. I didn't know what to say. And I just stood there. And then they said, you have an hour to get it out of here. And then when we talked about me moving in the first place.
Don't go back. Don't go backwards.
Okay. Well,
Mr. Collier, don't go backwards. Just go forwards.
Okay.
So we are now, your stuff is in a U-Haul.
Right.
Okay, good. Where's the engagement ring?
I exchanged it for earrings because it was on my credit card. I was solely responsible to pay for it.
It was on my credit card. I have the receipt right here.
Yeah, but it's under my name. I'm paying for it. And he actually had the nerve to ask for me to give him the ring back so he could pawn it for money to move out. So I'll pay for my ring twice.
1 second. He signed for it.
Right, because he had a credit card on my account. My mistake.
Is this her credit card, sir?
It was, well, I was on there, yes.
This is her credit card.
It's, yeah.
Shh, listen to me. I have a question for you, Mr.
Okay, go
Shh.
ahead.
It's her credit card. She gave you an additional card as an additional card holder.
Right.
When was the engagement ring purchased?
February 8th.
March 1st. Did you make a payment on the credit card?
No, I didn't.
There you go. Who did you expect to pay the credit card bill?
Well, I was going to pay the credit. Christine.
But you didn't.
But Judy.
So right now, so listen to me, sir.
Okay.
Your defense to this $4,800 car loan is that she kept the engagement ring. That's
right.
one. But she's paying for the engagement ring.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
So you don't get a credit for that, sir.
But
you
we
understand? You don't get a credit for the thought. You get a credit for the money. It was nice of you to buy it, but you also have to pay for it. You didn't pay for it, you don't get it back. Clear?
Yes.
What's the next thing? The next thing you wrote down here is shouldn't have to pay for something because she has your motorcycle. Tell me about the motorcycle.
Motorcycle, she signed for it. For 4 months, I made payments on the bike.
Hold on.
And insurance.
Hold on a second. Motorcycle, purchased when?
10/12/2002.
How much was it purchased for?
With tax and license, I don't know, 13, 12, something.
$13, $12 or
$1,000.
Let's say $12,000.
$12,000.
She took out the loan for it.
She didn't take out any loans on it. She just signed for it. I made all the payments on it.
Shh, listen to me carefully. You made 4 payments on it, you said.
Yes.
Listen to me carefully. Shh. I want you to be quiet. Okay. Trying to get a point across to him. You made 4 payments on it.
Yes.
Each payment was how much?
$250 plus with insurance.
I'm just talking about the payments.
$200
okay?
for the payments.
$200 for the payments. So you made a total of $800. Miss Klein, I want you to be quiet. I want you to stand still and just be quiet. So you made $800 in payments.
Yes.
On a $12,000 motorcycle.
Right.
She has the motorcycle.
Yeah, I don't know where it is now.
She has it.
Yes.
You don't know where it is.
No.
You don't have it.
No.
Who is obligated to pay the $12,000 for the bicycle, you or Miss Klein?
Miss Klein.
So she has back the ring, which she made into earrings. because she doesn't want you ring, but she's paying for it. So that's not a credit towards the $4,800 you owe her for the car. She has the motorcycle, which she is obligated to pay $12,000 for because she signed for it, and you made 4 payments of $200 each, and I assume you drove the motorcycle for 4 months. Is that right?
Well, when it was nice out.
I don't care whether you drove it in the rain or in a blizzard, sir.
Well,
you had
yeah,
it.
I rode it.
You had it. You rode it. You used it. You paid $200 a month for the use of it, right? Forget it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She changed her mind.
She changed her mind. But then she files this claim saying that she asked me for the money.
She changed her mind, sir. She decided that you weren't as good as she thought you were.
And later today,
She was a friend of yours, and she said, you can come and stay in my house, take care of my dog. While you were there, babysitting for the house and the dog ate your dentures.
Yes.
Right?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Christine Klein says ex-fiancé Ricky Collier owes for an unpaid car loan. She also says she's keeping the engagement ring because she's the one who paid for it.
Why else don't you owe her for the car loan, sir?
Because we had an agreement that if I go on my own, she knew that I couldn't afford an apartment on my own, that she would take the loss on all the bills that we had together.
Why would she do that for you?
But that's what she said. And I said, are you sure you want to do that, Christine? She said, yes, I'll get another loan to pay off everything. That's what she said to me.
Well, why would somebody want to do that for you, Mr. Collier?
Judge Judy, that's what she said to me. I talked to her and I said, Christine, are you sure you want to do that?
She changed her mind.
She changed her mind. I totally
That's
understand
what women do. That's what women do. They change their mind.
I understand that.
She decided you weren't as good as she thought. I'm speaking.
But then she files this claim saying that
second.
she asked me for the money. And
Listen
we haven't talked since the 21st.
Mr. Collier, didn't you notice my mouth moving, sir?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Judge Judy.
She changed her mind, sir. She decided that you weren't as good as she thought you were. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
She wants her money back. Miss Klein, I know that you want to get into how you had to get bodyguards and hire people to get him out of your apartment. That's not my problem. Don't visit it on me. Visit on me only the fact that he owes you $4,800 for the car. Now, you both agree that that's what's left on the loan? Is that right?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,800. Thank you very much. Go have a happy life.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm clueless as to why he's clueless, as to why he was kicked out when he was abusing me back since July of last year.
She probably felt like I was going to get angry if she kicked me out.
He's a master manipulator and an abuser, and I fell into the trap.
Because I have the tendency to get angry.
I'm just glad to be free and away from him at this point.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Romine versus Gauthier. Step forward, please.
Child care provider Karen Romine is suing her former friend, realtor Dolores Gauthier, for the cost of her dentures. Karen says, while pet sitting for Dolores, her dog ate them.
Miss Romaine, you were house sitting for the defendant and pet sitting, is that right?
Yes, I was.
Had you done that before?
No.
Were you doing it as a neighbor, as a friend, or were you being paid?
As a friend. I think she was trying to get me out of the house where my daughter and I were sharing a house, and I have 4 grandkids then. Kind of for sanity ways.
And what?
For my own mental.
For your sanity. So she was a friend of yours, and she said, you can come and stay in my house, take care of my dog, take care of my house while I'm on vacation, give you a little bit of a break. Is that right?
Yes.
And your complaint is that while you were there babysitting for the house and the dog ate your dentures.
Yes.
Right? Shh. And these dentures you had placed up on counter.
Yes.
Dog jumped up and chewed them. Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Romaine, whose fault is that?
I guess it could be mine. I thought the counter was high enough where the dog couldn't reach him.
When you say, I guess it could be mine, she was on vacation, right?
Yes.
So it couldn't be hers. You can't sue the dog. So what are we doing here?
Well, I thought it would be her responsibility since I was watching the dog. Yeah, and
No, you're supposed to take responsibility for your own actions, Miss Romaine. You answered right the first time, which is what surprised me about your lawsuit to begin with. She's on vacation. You agree to watch the dog. You're watching the dog, and you were supposed to watch and take care of your own property. The fact that you miscalculated and let the dog get a hold of your property and destroyed it doesn't make her responsible. Makes you responsible. So you got to take care of your own business, right?
You're right.
Perfect. Good. Then we don't have to bother each other any further. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. Let's step out.
It went well?
It was quick.
I came home from vacation and she showed me a baggie with her teeth in them.
Your dog ate my teeth.
Well, I felt bad, but I felt she was negligent.
We're still friends.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Montgomery versus McCarthy. Step forward, please.
25-year-old student Brandy Montgomery is suing small business owner Caitlin McCarthy for having her falsely arrested. Caitlin says Brandy charged at her swinging a keychain.
Well, quite frankly, I read both your complaint and answer in this case, and I really am quite confused. The best I can come up with is that, Miss Montgomery, it is your claim that the defendant filed a false police report and had you arrested for assault.
Yes.
Those charges were ultimately dismissed. You say they were false to begin with. Ms. McCarthy says that you did, in fact, hit her with a set of keys. Is that
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm. How do you know each other? I couldn't even figure that out from the papers.
Ma'am, her friend was my roommate, and that's how we met.
Now, you say it was a friend of your roommate. Who's your roommate?
Our roommate was Dakota. Her name was Dakota.
She lived with you and your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Until when?
That day she was moving out was that day. The reason she was moving out is because we were not getting along. So she had decided to move out, and we were moving out a couple days after that.
Go ahead.
I had met her once when I first moved in with Dakota, which was the roommate, and then again on the day of the incident.
All right, well, I'd like you to tell me your version of what happened on the day of the incident, which was when?
It was on July 28th. I have a police report right here. Would you like?
I'd like to see it. Come on, start talking.
Sorry. My husband and I got home from picking him up from work. We go downstairs to where we live, which is like a two-story condo type place. We go downstairs. I decide to go to the store, so I go back up. So I go upstairs. I saw the defendant in the driveway. I walk past her. I do not say any words to her. I get in my car. I drive away. I go to the store. I come back from the store, and there's sheriffs. There's about 4 sheriff cars in the driveway. I park my car, walk towards my driveway. I get arrested.
And that's all you know?
That's all I know.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 25-year-old student Brandy Montgomery is suing small business owner Caitlin McCarthy for having her falsely arrested. Caitlin says Brandy charged at her swinging a keychain.
All right, Miss McCarthy, now I'll hear you.
Judge, I didn't know either Dakota except for that day. I have never met the plaintiff before the day of incident. I was asked by a friend to come and help her move. She said she needed to move very quickly because there was some back rent due. The landlord wanted the money and she didn't have it.
Who's the friend?
The friend is Beverly. She lives in Nevada, but she had introduced us.
Beverly, but nobody connected with the plaintiff.
No, I don't know any of these people.
Beverly is somebody that is not involved in this case other than the fact that Beverly asked you to go and move Dakota.
Correct. That's correct.
So you were actually in the plaintiff's apartment,
yes, ma'am,
helping Dakota move.
Yes.
Oh, well, now I understand.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We had moved for a couple of hours, been packing boxes. In fact, the plaintiff did come with her husband back to the house while we were moving. So I'm helping her move, and I was in the kitchen, I was packing things, kitchen items, and Brandy walked in with her husband. They were very agitated, started to go through boxes, opening them to see what was in them. I thought, well, she might be afraid that something was being taken, right?
Right.
She came over to me where I was packing, and she bumped into me, knocked me into the box that I was packing. She was very aggressive, and she opened up the box, started to dig through.
Did you say anything to her? Did she say anything to you?
Not a thing. She didn't even say, I'm Brandy. She didn't say anything. She just did this act. I saw the agitation. I was in damage control. I thought, I don't know what's going on with these two, but I'm just going to let her look. I did. She went out, went away. A few minutes later, I went out to the garage. I went to get another box. Upon returning...
And you were doing this as a favor to Beverly?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Well, she's a very good friend of mine, and
And how did she know Dakota?
I have no idea how they met, but I had something to do with their work. And she didn't have anybody there. That was the thing. She had no family, no friends. She hadn't been there very long. And so Beverly said, this girl needs help. She needs to move out today because she had surrendered the property to the landlords for non-payment. So I went over to help. She had hired some other help as well. So we were all moving, and this incident took place. I went out to the garage. I came back from the garage with a box in my hand, and Brandy stood in front of me, blocking my path to the kitchen. I didn't know what her reason to confront me was, since I didn't know her or what was going on.
Did you say anything to her?
I didn't say anything to her first. She said something to me.
What did she say?
Well, she was swinging her keys, and she had a hand on her hip and was very agitated with me, and I didn't know why. And she said, I'm not moving, and there's not a thing you can do about it. I don't know why that would matter to me, whether she moved or didn't. I was there to help Dakota get out, and I didn't know what all these incidences were between them. I said to her, well, whatever, but you need to let me pass so we can move. I went ahead and started to move, and she was swinging her keys. She advanced on me, and the key came right to my face as she was swinging it. All I did was pull my face back, and it just grazed my chin. I decided that was pretty aggressive for me. I didn't know whether, it was going to escalate.
Aggressive?
So I went and I called the police on my cell phone.
Okay, back to you.
These are the keys, ma'am. If I swung these keys around and hit somebody with them, they would leave a pretty giant mark.
Not necessarily. I believe her. I have to make a judgment.
Correct.
She tells a very simplistic story. Can you think of a reason, Miss Montgomery, that Miss McCarthy, you didn't know her, according to both of you? Think of a reason why she would call the police on you.
She knew that Dakota and I had gotten into it, and the police had already been out to the house 2 prior times between me and my roommate. Yes. And the police had told us that if they came out again, that somebody would be arrested. So I believe that she did it in spite to get me arrested, to prove a point to me, because my roommate said I owed her money for back rent.
What did she have to do with that?
Ma'am, I did not swing keys.
Yes, you did. Sure you did.
Yes, you did.
Sure you did. You were angry. You had a fight. You didn't know who she was. She was helping your roommate. You swung keys. You didn't injure her. You didn't hurt her, but she had an absolute right to call the police. Grow up. Case dismissed.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm very disappointed.
No good deed goes unpunished.
I don't think the judge really understood it.
My whole purpose of going there that day was to help a friend move. That was it.
It's done and over with.
No reason for her to aggress on me. I don't think anybody should aggress on anybody. If you've got issues, there's courts for them.
Some people just have a better word and can play a better act.
I think it all started before I showed up. I just happened to be the person in that spot at the moment.
I got to spend 12 hours in jail in shorts and a short sleeve shirt and no shoes.
Well, just be careful when you help people.
Claims she never agreed to pay.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 546 on the calendar in the matter of Newsom versus Harris. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Stand over there, please. Your last name is what?
Crispin, C-R-I-S-P-I-N.
Mr. Crispin, I think that you're an integral part of this case, which is why I asked you to stand up with Miss Harris. Uncross your arms, please. Miss Newsom, I'm going to try to set up what I believe is the family tree here so that we all understand it. You have a child who is 7 years old.
Correct.
Mr. Crispin, I assume, is the father of that child.
Correct.
Miss Harris is his current girlfriend. Is that right?
That's correct.
Do you have any children together?
No, we do not.
It is your claim that Miss Harris called you around holiday time last year and asked if you would do them a favor. Mr. Crispin wanted to take the child that you share, your son, to visit his family over the holidays. And Miss Harris was calling to find out if you would rent a car using your credit card so that he could take Miss Harris, I assume, or not Miss Harris, just your son and himself to visit his family over the holidays. Miss Harris was doing that because she wanted to make him happy.
Probably.
And she said they didn't have a credit card. Would you rent the car in your name and she would pay you?
Correct.
And she even gave you a check for $250 for the deposit.
Correct.
And you said?
Well, I told her that I would go on and rent the car based on the fact that she asked me, not because of him, and plus because of my son.
Okay. Now, did you get along with Miss Harris?
Excuse me, Judge.
What?
Do me a favor. Take your hands out of your pants, please.
How should I be standing
Just
like
stand
this?
with your hand. Just stand with your hands to your side.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Bert. You get along with Miss Harris?
Yeah, she was cool. We was pleasant. I got
And when
along.
your son goes to visit,
Exactly.
she's nice to him?
She
so you got
called
along.
and checked up to see how he was doing and everything. Exactly.
Perfect. But I assume you don't get along with Mr. Crispin that well?
No, I do not.
So you said you would rent the car for her?
Exactly.
Now, how did she get this check to you?
Well, we met up at Key Bank, and she gave me the check, deposited it into my account.
And then where did you go?
Then we went to the rental car place at the airport.
And on what date did you rent the car?
It was Christmas Eve, December 24th.
So what happened next?
After we rented the car, I got insurance on the car because I knew that I was not going to be the one driving the car, that he was, because my car insurance paid for rental cars. So we rode up the street off Seltzer Road. We exchanged. I gave him.
Did they have him listed as a driver?
No, they didn't. No.
Why not?
Because we
Don't
didn't
they
set
usually
it up.
do that?
That's the way it's supposed to be done.
That's the way it's supposed to be done. But we didn't do it that way.
So you
And-
did it the wrong way?
Yes.
In the contract that you signed, didn't they say, are you the only driver?
Well, they asked was I the only driver.
And you wrote down yes. So what happened next?
After we departed ways, went home, and I rented the car for a week. Just in case he didn't make it back due to traffic or the weather or whatever. I rented the car for a week. And April had agreed when she gave me the check for the $250, she had agreed that she would hook up with me Friday so she could give me the rest of the money on the rental car.
How much was the entire rental car?
The entire rental car for the week was like $431.
Okay.
Okay. So I called her Thursday. And I said, April, are we going to meet up Friday? And she was like, well, I have a meeting at my job, so let's do it Saturday. I said, what time? I said, I'll base my schedule around yours. She said, around 12. I said, okay, fine. I gave her till 1:06. Called the house. She did not answer the phone. So then I said, okay. So then I called back later. I said, April, she answered the phone. I was like, April, what's going on? Are you going to meet me to get the money? Well, Jeffrey's not back. I said, what does Jeffrey being back have to do with you giving me the money for the car? She said, well, I can't get to the bank. I said, well, April, he has the rental car. He doesn't have your car, so he's not going to be using your car. He's out of town. And she said, well, I have to wait till Jeffrey get back. I said, okay, fine. I said, well, you know that the car is supposed to have been turned back today. And I said, if the car goes any longer, you're going to be responsible for paying those extra days. She said, well, I know, but I'm not. She said, I don't have an ATM card, and I need to go to the bank, but I can't go to the bank until Monday because I don't have an ATM card.
Did she ever give you the money?
No, she didn't.
What happened with the $250 check?
Well, she gave me the check for the $250. I deposited it into my account. A few days later, I received a letter from my bank, which is right here, stating, please find enclosed a copy of the 12/24/2002 deposit of $250, which has been returned unpaid due to the account is closed. As a result, we have deducted this amount from your account along with a $20 return deposit fee.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Pay no attention to what he's saying to you, madam. I want you to understand this. You don't want me to make you look foolish, do you? You know I have that capacity to do that if you're lying to me.
And later today,
Why in the world, Mr. Peterson, would you come to court and say, I, in effect, committed statutory rape, and I'm here to ask her for rent?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. LaVonda Newsom claims her ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend, April Harris, owes for a loan to rent a car. April says LaVonda should be suing her ex.
Okay. Okay, Miss Harris. I know there are a couple of other smaller issues with regard to gas in the car and that sort of stuff, but I would like to hear your version of these events, madam.
Okay. Granted, she was called to ask to rent the car for Jeffrey. Okay. She told me that she needed an extra $250 to show for a deposit in the...
Now, just a second. She called you? Or
she had informed me when she was calling the rental car companies.
I want to know how you got to the rental car company. Did you call her and ask her to rent this car?
I just said that. I
Well,
said
let's go a
after
little
I spoke
slower.
to her. Okay.
Let's go a little slow.
I called her.
You called her for what purpose?
To see if she would help me rent Jeffrey a car. Jeffrey was wanting to go home to Alabama for Christmas. She had told me that the amount of the rental required a $250 deposit. I told her that I would give her a check for $250. However, that check will not clear my bank. She said that was fine. I told her, and she did know, that if it's a deposit, that she would get the deposit back for the rental.
Why didn't you rent a car for Jeffrey?
My credit card was maxed out at the time. It was Christmas. And this was a
So,
last
Miss
minute
Harris,
thing.
listen to me carefully.
I'm listening.
So, Miss Newsom is correct when she says that you called and asked to rent a car for your boyfriend using her credit card because you couldn't use yours. This was going to be a gift for him from you, right?
For the both.
I didn't ask you a thing.
Actually,
this was going to be a gift from you for Jeffrey.
Yes.
However,
right. Sir, ma'am, I do apologize for that, Your Honor.
Just a second.
Per my understanding.
Don't tell me what your understanding was. Don't pay no attention to what he's saying to you, madam. I want you to understand this. You don't want me to make you look foolish, do you? You know I have that capacity to do that if you're lying to me. You understand that?
Yes.
You don't want to look foolish in front of a whole bunch of people, including Bird. So you called her and said, I want to rent a car for Jeffrey as a gift for him. But I don't have a credit card. Can we use yours? Which is pretty much what she said. Is that right?
Not in the same language that you just
I don't
spoke
care
back
what
in
language it was. That was the
if you want
understanding.
me to tell you what happened, then I would be more than happy to tell you my side. But that would require me speaking.
Around Christmas, according to your answer that you swore to, Miss Newsom, that's her, wanted to rent a car for the holidays but lacked the $250 deposit. That's what you swore to in your answer, but that wasn't true. You called her to rent a car for him.
Per my understanding, they had already spoke about renting the car to go down there.
True. And she already
She needed
knew.
an extra $250 deposit.
She knew. She knew about
No,
the
no.
check and everything.
No.
She knew.
No. I didn't speak to you.
Well, the truth ain't been told here.
Did you hear? Did you hear me? I didn't speak to you.
I understand that.
Good, then sit down.
I'll do so. I'm tired of standing.
Good. I know you probably work very hard.
I do.
No, he don't.
I do.
You do?
He don't.
Really? How much child support does he pay?
He doesn't pay me. He's been sworn. He
Need to
doesn't
check
pay
the
me.
mail.
Okay, question. I'm gonna answer your question. 0. How much? 0.
Could take some of his gold. Maybe we can sell it.
Exactly.
Listen. Your answer, Miss Harris, says she wanted to rent a car but lacked $250. Now, what doesn't make sense is for her to want to do something nice for Jeffrey. Do you understand? I don't even know Jeffrey, and I wouldn't want to do anything nice for him for Christmas.
Exactly.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. LaVonda Newsom claims her ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend, April Harris, owes for a loan to rent a car. April says LaVonda should be suing her ex.
Did he have a good time over the holiday?
I don't think so. I don't know.
You don't live together anymore?
Yes, we still do.
So when he came back, you didn't say to him, honey, did you have a good time?
No, because all of this was just too much drama filled. In other words, I was trying to do a good deed, and I'm the one who got snipped in the butt.
A good deed for whom?
For him, and per my understanding for her, because her daughter was going away with her father for Christmas, so she was going, Quavon was going with her, with Jeffrey. So basically, all in the matter is to settle things, to make everything just copacetic for Christmas. Her daughter's going to be with her father. Quavon would have been with Jeffrey. She would have been on for Christmas. I would have been on for Christmas. The check was given. She was aware of that, okay?
I'm talking about who called whom. You called her.
They called
And according
both.
to you, said to her, would you do this for me because I don't have a credit card that I can use? That's what you said to her.
Pretty much, because she was calling wanting to know if Jeffrey would be able to take their son, or is Jeffrey still going to take their son to Alabama?
Exactly.
And
Is
I
he
said,
still?
I'm not sure yet, because Jeffrey, until the last moment, did not say he really wanted to go until Christmas Eve.
But you had made the arrangement before Christmas Eve to rent the car for him, is that right?
Not with her, no.
He called me a week prior.
What date did you call her to rent the car?
I think it was the day before New Year's Eve, which was the
The day,
23rd.
but not New Year's Eve. You mean Christmas?
the day before, which would have been the 23rd of December.
So I'm saying to you, you said he didn't make up his mind that he wanted to go until Christmas Eve, but you had spoken to her before.
No, I didn't speak to her until that day.
A day prior is before.
A day before?
Well, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Give her money, $600. Judgment for the plaintiff. Goodbye. Hope you enjoy him.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Whatever the situation may be, she should have went at him. So obviously there's some type of vendetta, but she got her money, so she has no reason to call my house. She has no reason to bother me whatsoever. So I hope she just gets to life and get on with herself.
Even though she told me I should have got it from Jeffrey, but I wouldn't have rented the car if Jeffrey would have came to me and asked me for the car. I did it for the sake of her and my son because she came to me because me and her was cool.
She wanted me to take my son out of town. She wanted to go do whatever she wanted to do, and that's case closed, you know?
My son is going to be, he's the one that's going to basically be out of it due to the fact I'm not letting him see his dad due to the fact his dad don't pay child support.
That ain't got nothing to do with this here. You running business all out like that.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Peterson versus Matheson. Step forward, please.
21-year-old equipment operator Edward Peterson is suing the mother of his underage ex-girlfriend, healthcare provider Sherry Matheson, for unpaid rent. Sherry claims, in lieu of rent, she did housework.
Mr. Peterson, it is your claim that the defendant owes you for rent. Owes you for rent for herself and her daughter when they lived with you in a shared house and you were all on a lease.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Matheson says there was never an agreement that she was going to pay you rent. Mr. Peterson, when did you lease this house and who lived there?
I began the lease on this house, I believe it was the 4th of October of last year, and the initial parties that moved in were myself, Sherry, her daughter Amber, and Sherry's boyfriend Dan.
Now, in reading these papers, it is intimated in these papers that Amber, that's the daughter, was your girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
And how old are you, sir?
I'm 21 years old.
And how old was Amber when she moved in?
I found out that she was 16.
Amber was 16.
Now, I was at the
Wait,
time...
shh. Okay, what you know. Amber was 16 at the time, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how many bedrooms were in this house?
It was a 2-bedroom townhome.
I assume that Miss Matheson, who moved in with her boyfriend, and your boyfriend's name is?
Dan.
Dan, shared one bedroom.
Yes, ma'am.
And you shared another bedroom with Amber?
Yes, ma'am.
With her mother's consent?
Yes.
Shame on you. Big time. How many months did that arrangement continue?
That arrangement continued for 2 months, and at the end of the 2nd month, I had not received any money from Amber or her mother for the rent.
Amber wasn't going to pay you any money, sir. Is that the arrangement, that Amber pay you money?
The arrangement was that everybody pays their own portion of the rent. There were 4 of us living there.
Well, Amber can't pay her portion of the rent because Amber's a minor. Right?
Correct.
So how much was her mother supposed to pay?
Let's see. Her mother would have paid the $312 for herself per month, and the agreement was that she would also pay the $312 for her daughter, which would be $625.
Bull. Bull. There's no way that Miss Matheson said to you, "You're sleeping with my daughter in your bedroom, and I'm going to pay her rent." You're lucky you're not in jail, sir. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Your lawsuit is the height of chutzpah. Why you would expose yourself is absolutely beyond me. Are you still in this apartment?
Yes, I am.
So why in the world, Mr. Peterson, would you come to court and say, I, in effect, depending upon the jurisdiction where I lived, committed statutory rape, and I'm here to ask her for rent?
The reason is, Your Honor, because for the months of December, January, February, and March, I was laid off from my job.
Yes.
And I needed their portion of the rent to help cover the bills of the townhome, help cover the rent and utility bills, which is the whole reason we're in court.
All right, Miss Matheson, you tell me. I mean, because I'm not too fond of you either. I want to explain that to you. I think as a mother, you are a jerk. But you want to explain to me, madam, what you claim this rent arrangement was?
When we agreed to move in together, he said that he would take care of Amber's portion of the rent and everything.
Of course he did.
And he said, Dan will end up taking care of yours. And he said, and with you doing the laundry and the cleaning and always had meals fixed and everything, he said, that'll take care of yours.
And then what happened to
and
Dan?
I always put money in and paid because I always had money coming in.
From what?
From my savings account in Kansas. And then I had child support.
Did your ex-husband know what these living arrangements were in this house?
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about his daughter at all.
That's lovely to hear. I think you people all deserve each other. Except you. The case is dismissed, sir. You're lucky you're not in jail. You don't have any other children, do you?
Mm-mm.
Perfect.
Parties are excused. Step out, please.
You know, I really feel that, you know, they were living with me, they took advantage of me.
There's no way. I'm pregnant with his baby. He knows it's his.
I don't believe that I am. And if it does come that I am the father, I will take care of it.
If the child is his, he's gonna pay child support. I don't know about if we're gonna go to court for visitation or not.
You know, all I was here for was just to collect the rent money that I feel is owed to me.
Don't trust people that you've just known a few days or a few weeks, a few months. Be sure you know them through and through before you go and do anything stupid.
22-year-old Clarence Alejandro Moreland for a loan to break his apartment lease.
Order. All rise. Now it's case number 503 on the calendar in the matter of Medrano versus Moreland.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Medrano, defendant was your boyfriend, and you claimed that you made a $1,200 loan in order to help him break a lease for his apartment. Mr. Moreland has an entirely different story, which I'm going to let him tell me.
Right.
Because you do acknowledge that she gave you $1,200.
Correct.
When did she give you the $1,200?
It's around February of 2008, during my birthday. I was going to depart the city. I told her I was going to leave.
You were going to leave what city?
Indianapolis, and I was going back to New York. And
Are you originally from New York?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long were you and Miss Medrano dating at the time?
For about a year. And that's when she had persuaded me that I should stay, get an apartment. I got an apartment because I had a friend that also, too, needed an apartment. So we got the apartment together.
Where was Miss Medrano living?
She was staying with her mother at the time.
Go ahead.
And during that time, I had a friend. He moved in with me. He was unable to financially make the rent. So
just a minute. So you rented an apartment with a friend?
Right.
Did you sign a lease?
Yes, ma'am.
Did the friend sign the lease?
No, ma'am.
And how much was the rent?
$500 a month.
So you each were paying $250?
Right.
And then he couldn't make the rent?
Right, he couldn't make the rent.
So what happened, Mr. Moreland?
At that time, he left the apartment, and I told her that I was...
When was this?
This was around April of 2008, last year. And I had made her aware, notified her that I was going to leave the city right then and there because I didn't have an apartment to go to, and I just wanted to leave.
Well, you had an apartment to go to. You had signed a lease.
Right.
So you were just going to break the lease and leave?
Yeah, I was going to break the lease and leave.
And what did she say?
She said, no, don't do that. Stay. I'll give you the money. So then she gave me $1,200.
What was the $1,200 for?
It was for the rent because I wasn't able to pay his half. And then also, too, there were some other things.
That's not correct. Shh. I'll get to you in a minute.
And then also, too, I had a car payment that I had to make.
Okay. Now, in April of 2006, did Miss Medrano come to stay with you?
No, she did not. She was already staying there. And she already had her belongings already there.
Already
during
where?
the time, at the apartment.
How often did she stay there?
I say about 5 nights out of 7 nights during the week. The weekend she would leave and go back over to her mother's or do with her.
Why is that?
I don't know why I don't know if she was going to the club or what she was doing.
What club?
Clubs around the city or wherever.
What were you doing on the weekends?
I was doing the same thing. I would
Cheating.
go to the...
All right, Miss Medrano, let's hear your version of the $1,200.
In April, he asked me to borrow the money, and I told him no at first, but then eventually I did let him borrow it. And that was not to pay any of his bills. That was actually to break the lease of his apartment and move into another one in Indianapolis.
Did he, in fact, do that?
No, he did not. I'm really not sure where the money went to.
I want you to tell me exactly what he said to you.
He asked me to borrow the money in order to break the lease to his apartment and move into another apartment in Indianapolis. But I really strongly believe that he was behind on child support and that it went to his baby's mother.
Were you behind in child support?
No, ma'am.
How much did you pay in child support?
It was just $50 a week, so I wasn't, no reason to be behind him.
And actually, I have another statement. His baby mother called me, so that's why I really strongly believe that, because she did let me know that he was behind on.
Don't tell me what she said. That's hearsay. Okay. When did the two of you break up?
In May of 2008.
Under what circumstances?
Because he was cheating on me with his baby's mother.
That's incorrect. I was just being honest with her. I made her aware that I wasn't going to be able to be faithful to her. I wasn't with any ex-girlfriend or anything else like that. I just let her know I wasn't going to be able to be faithful, so we might as well not be in a relationship. And that's when she had got upset.
It's not true.
And agitated about the situation.
Okay, so let me understand this. You broke up a month later.
Right, correct.
Or within that month.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, you were taking $1,200 from her.
Yes, ma'am.
To pay a variety of bills, none of which were hers.
Correct.
And shortly after you got the $1,200 from her, you told her that you could not be faithful to her in a committed relationship.
Correct.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,200. Thank you. That's
Parties are
Counterclaims
excused.
dismissed.
You may step out.
Pretty much just a woman scorn, and this is just really how a woman gets sometimes.
He had been lying to her also.
Honesty doesn't pay off at the end of the day.
Learn how to be faithful.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Massa versus Nowak. Step forward, please.
Sammy Massa is suing his ex-boyfriend, Daryl Nowak, for unpaid loans to pay his rent and car note. He is also suing for the return of his record collection.
Mr. Massa, you and the defendant lived together for approximately 8 years, according to your complaint. You lived together as a couple, and you claim that during that period of time, you paid as a loan to the defendant his share of living expenses, rent, and car payments when he lost his job. You want that money back. In addition, you say that when he left, he took a valuable and sentimental CD collection, and you want that back. The defendant says that he has the CD collection, that he's keeping it, holding it hostage until you return to him some of the things. I assume that some of the things, they were things that you gave to him as gifts that you refused to return to him. And he says that as far as the rent and car payments were concerned, there was never any discussion when you were together about that money being paid back. Are these the items that you want, sir, that are your gifts?
I believe they are, yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Can we turn those, first let me see them, and then we'll turn them over to the defendant and take care of his counterclaim. Mr. Massa, you bought these for the defendant as gifts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. There's a bracelet with your name on it. It looks like a watch. What else?
I have 2 antique estate chairs that I would also like returned to me.
2 antique estate chairs, sir. Do you have those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could we make arrangements to get those to the defendant?
Sure, as soon as I receive...
No.
Okay.
They're his things. You can't hold
Okay.
things hostage. We don't hold things hostage. Okay. So these 2 things we turn over to the defendant. Thank you, Bert. And then we'll make arrangements within 5 days to get your 2 chairs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, you get your 2 chairs when he gets back his record collection. Do you understand? So we're
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
We're going to make that a transfer, so we know that the chairs come to you in good condition and the record collection goes to the plaintiff in good condition, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sammy Massa says his former live-in boyfriend, Daryl Nowak, owes for rent, car payments, and the return of his record collection.
Now let's talk about this money.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Massa. I'm prepared to hear you.
Daryl Nowak lost his job at the end of February and came to me in March and asked me if I would loan him money to pay his vehicle while he awaited a 401k payout and his vacation pay from his prior employee.
And how much was the vehicle payment?
The first payment was an amount of $300, and so I went and paid that, and then...
Had you ever paid for the car before?
No, Your Honor.
Is that correct, that he had never paid for it before?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so $300. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. And then back in April of 08.
April of 08, yes.
Yes.
What did he need in April of 08?
I paid another car payment of his for $325.
Okay.
And then somehow on the fifth month, he was able to call.
I got a deferment for the car payment for that month, Your Honor.
Fine.
Okay, so
due to the fact that I had lost my position.
Okay, good.
And then on 6/3, I loaned him $335
For a car
payment
Is
again.
that correct, Mr. Noack?
I believe it was correct, Your Honor. There was an incidental amount for, I think they had placed insurance or something.
Okay, go.
And then in July, $225.
For the car?
For the car payment as well. And then
I was making arrangements at that time due to the loss of my employment. They gave me a reduced amount.
Got it. I got it. So far, this is what you owe him.
Yes.
Okay, and then on August of 8, he asked for another $325, Your Honor, which I paid for another car payment.
Go ahead.
Okay, I also paid a share of rent. The total amount of rent was $600. We was living with my mother. She paid $300, and the agreement was that we would pay $150 each. He did pay in March his $150, but from there on out, from April through September of 08, he did not pay any of his rent. I paid that, which totals the amount of $900, which he owes me.
Do you agree you owe him that money, Mr. Noack?
I don't know if that amount is correct, Your Honor.
That is correct. 150 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals $900.
I didn't realize I was supposed to maintain an expense sheet in a relationship.
Well, the relationship
what I'm asking you is, Mr. Noack, did you ask him to pay?
There was no relationship anymore. Excuse me.
Did you ask him to pay your share of the rent?
He paid the share of the rent. I didn't ask him to pay it.
Well, how else was you supposed to?
No, Mr. Massa. Don't interfere. Okay. So far, he acknowledges he owes you the car payments, correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now we come to an issue. The issue is whether or not there was a loan with regard to the rent.
I never agreed to repay anything.
Did you? Just a minute. Did you ask him to pay your share of the rent?
Yes, he did.
No, I did not, Your Honor.
I'm not asking you anything.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Did you ask him to pay your share of the rent? All right, Mr. Massa, I'd like you to tell me how it came about that you paid the entire $300.
The lease was in my mother's name. Each month, I would give my mother $300 cash, and she would put in the other $300.
Oh, I understand that.
Right, and he asked me if I would pay his share of rent because I wasn't going to pay his expenses to have him to live.
Why not? You were living.
Yeah, well, we never did that before. Everything was.
I understand, but he had no job now.
Well, that's not my responsibility.
Mr. Massa, let me explain something to you, sir. There has to be an agreement to repay.
He did agree to
There has to be an agreement to repay in order for there to be a loan. You paid his share of the rent because you were a couple, you were living together, and he didn't have a job.
I had lost my job.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, but we wasn't a couple anymore. I moved back to the back bedroom after an incident that happened.
I didn't keep track of every time I bought you dinner. And
well, that has nothing to do with...
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. When did you move back to...
I moved back in... Okay.
I ask a question, you answer. When did you move to the back bedroom, and what month?
I moved back there the day after my birthday in February of 2008.
Is that correct?
Or shortly thereafter.
Well, then, from April until September of 2008, you weren't a couple. You owe him the rent, sir. What else?
Okay, he also borrowed 258 some odd cents for
I think
insurance
it was
payment.
$228.
It was $258, Your Honor.
When?
August the 21st, when the car company called him and said that they would no longer carry his insurance premium anymore. He had to get insurance himself.
And you were no longer a couple then?
We was no longer a couple, but he asked me, so I went down. I put 258 some odd cents. I think it was 37 cents.
You drove the car. It was important there was insurance on it.
Mr. Noack, listen. You want to speak to him? Go outside and speak to him.
I assumed it was an expense, that both of us incurred. I made the car payments prior to being unemployed. I didn't ask him for it. He drove the car during that time frame also. It's what you do in a relationship.
You weren't in a relationship anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, if you were in a relationship, my reaction would be totally different. But from what both of you indicate,
We were
there
living
came a
in the
time-
same home.
You were living in the same home, but you were no longer living under the same bedroom roof. And there was a specific break in the relationship because he says he moved out of the room that you had shared into a back bedroom. And he did that in February of 2008, and all of these bills accrued subsequent to that. Okay. You owe him $2,668. That's all. The exchange of property will be made within 5 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I didn't realize you had to maintain an expense sheet when you're in a relationship.
You have to pay for yourself in life. You know, I'm not going to pay for somebody else.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Williams versus Bertello, step forward, please.
25-year-old Ashley Williams is suing her ex-roommate, 23-year-old Joseph Joey Bertello, for unpaid rent on their shared apartment.
Ms. Williams, you and the defendant were friends and leased an apartment together. He moved out to go into rehab. Had a drug problem or a drinking problem?
Pain prescription pills.
You could not maintain the apartment by yourself. You broke the lease. And now the landlord is pursuing you for 7 months' rent. You want the defendant to pay half of that.
Correct.
When did you sign the lease?
We signed the lease in June of 2007.
When did you move out, sir?
It was November 2007.
When did you move out?
November 2007.
You moved out to go into rehab.
Yes.
Why did you move out?
I moved out because I couldn't afford to live there anymore.
How much was the rent?
$1,190.
Do you have any notification from the landlord that they are pursuing you for this money?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? Okay, sir. I'm prepared to hear your defense.
Okay. Starting from the beginning?
Well, you don't have to start back from your birth. You moved into the apartment June of 07. You moved out November of 07.
Correct.
The landlord wants, between the two of you, $7,840.
Correct.
Why should you not be responsible for half of that?
Well, when I moved out, I had developed a problem. I had been in several car accidents prior to that, and I was prescribed medications, and it just got to be out of control. And I kind of sat her down and said, look, I need to go get help. I'm going to move back in with my parents for now and check myself into a rehab. And when I told her that, she agreed that it was more important than living together and, you know, the rent. And so we had an agreement that I was going to move out and she was going to ask her sister to move in with her and take my place.
You had an agreement that you would try to find somebody else.
Yeah, her sister. She had mentioned that her sister liked our place and maybe possibly thought about moving in. And when
Well, that's a possibility. Did that happen?
No, it didn't.
Didn't happen.
No. And so a few days later, she had left to go to LA to visit her boyfriend at the time. My mom came and stayed with me at the apartment, and then after that, I got all my things and left. When I came back and she was there, that's when she told me, look, I can't find anybody. I'm going to move out now. And so I told her, I said, I thought we were in agreement that you were going to have your sister move in.
No, there was no agreement, sir. You just said to me there was a possibility that maybe her sister would move in. But before you got all your things together and moved out, she told you that her sister wasn't moving in.
No, that actually happened afterwards. When I got my
That's
stuff
not
and I
true.
came back for the last of my things.
Your stuff was still there. If the last of your things was still there, sir, you were still there. She told you she couldn't get her sister to move in. You
yeah.
had a choice. You could have stayed in the apartment.
Yeah, I mean, but I did tell her.
When you left in November, where did you immediately go?
The first place I went was my mother's.
And how long did you stay there?
I stayed there for about a month, and then that's when I checked into rehab.
Did you finish rehab?
Yes.
You're okay now?
Yeah.
Great. You owe her half this money. I'm glad you went into rehab. I'm glad everything is great. I'm glad you recognized it. All of that is terrific. You can't leave somebody in the lurch because you had a problem.
I actually have proof that he's lying, if you would like that. He signed something when we moved out saying that he would be rent responsible as well as me until the apartment was rented.
I thought that was I was signing away saying that I don't have any more responsibilities to this apartment. I thought the agreement was saying that.
Well,
says
whether
you
he
do.
did or whether he didn't. Judging for the plaintiff for the amount of $39.20. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I couldn't.
Expenses. David says Victoria is living with Alicia without his permission.
Order. All rise. This is case number 503 on the calendar in the matter of James Cahoot versus Cahoot. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Victoria, this is your father.
Yes.
Is that right? And Miss James, Victoria has been living in your house for the past 18 months?
Yeah, 19 now, I think.
Your lawsuit seeks support from Victoria's father for her over the last 18 months. The defendant says that his door has always been open to his daughter. She can come back and live with him whenever she wants to. And he provides for medical coverage for her, some other things I assume that he's going to tell me, and he has no intention of paying you for support because his daughter should be living at his house. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Victoria, how old were you when you left home?
15 and a half, maybe 16.
And where did you go?
My friend Amanda's house in Grants Pass, and I lived there for about a month, and then I moved in with Perry. And I lived there for about 4 months, and then I moved in with Alicia James.
Why did you leave home?
My dad was abusive. He was always drunk, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. He would throw me out of the house and kick me out. He kicked me out and said that he didn't want me living in his house anymore.
What did you have a fight about? You must have had a fight about something.
Everything. My friends, school, me going out, everything.
Your parents are divorced, is that right?
Yes.
How long have your parents been divorced?
Since I was 1.
And were you always in the custody of your father?
No, I lived with my mother, and then at age 4, my dad had temporary custody for I think about 4 months. And then I moved back in with my mother, and I moved out when I was almost 13 and moved to Oregon to be with my father.
So what prompted you to move in with your father when you were 13?
I never really lived with him. I wanted to know what he was like.
You have siblings?
Yes, 1 brother.
How old?
23.
Okay. Now, when you left the first time and you went to your friend Amanda's house, did you stay in contact with your father?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You knew she was living with Amanda?
I knew she was living somewhere, and I just wanted to make sure she was safe, so...
Did you know she was living with Amanda?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you take any steps to have your daughter return to your house, legal steps at that time? The answer is either yes or no.
Yes.
What did you do?
I called the local police and had her listed as a runaway.
No, that doesn't try to get her back. All that does is cover you behind. When you try to get her back, you say, I want my daughter back. And you go to court, and you bring Amanda's parents to court, and you say, listen, you're interfering with my parental responsibility and my parental right to have my daughter living with me. I want this thing resolved. And reporting a child as a runaway when you know where she lives is ridiculous. All right, now the next place she went to the... Did you tell your father where you were when you were at the... You were there for 4 months?
Yes.
Now, Miss James, what prompted you to allow this young lady to come and move into your house?
Perry had asked me if I could take the older 2, which would have been Vicki and Karen, with the younger 2, my daughter and his daughter, all take them shopping for school. And I said, yeah. So we took them all. I took them all. The girls got in an altercation, and Vicki could no longer stay with them. So I asked Vicki, I says, well, what are you going to do? She goes, I don't know. I don't have a place to go. And I says, well, you can't stay with me unless I talk to your father. So she agreed to that, and immediately, right then, after the altercation, and she found out she couldn't be there, I went over to Mr. Cahoot's house. And I asked him the situation that was going on between him and his daughter, you know, told him what had happened. He told me under no circumstance was his daughter going to live with him, that he was not allowing her back in the home.
Why?
He told me that she was out of control, so on and so forth. Just, you know, basically a bad kid. I said, well, I don't know what to do here. I said that I agreed that she could stay with me. I agreed that she could stay with me, but I couldn't afford to support her because I could barely afford to support myself and my daughter, and that he would have to, you know, help out with food and clothing and, you know, medical and stuff like that. He agreed to do so, and he did. He helped for about the first 3 months.
What did he do for the first 3 months?
He made sure that he bought Vicki a few items of clothing, nothing major to start school with. He helped out with food.
How did he help out with the food? Did he buy food or did he give you money?
He bought food, and he had food at his house, and extra food, and so he would bring it over.
But he didn't give you a set amount of money?
No.
Go ahead.
So anyway, and then on or about September 21st, I had Victoria and her father and her and me sign an agreement of the rules that we would be living in the home, and I do have a copy of that.
I'd like to see it, please. Would you show this to the defendant and ask him to look at it and tell me if that is his signature, which I have compared to the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That is your signature witnessing, as witness to the agreement between these two ladies, the rules of the house.
Yes, ma'am.
And Vicky has been living with you ever since.
Yes, the agreement, part of the other agreement was, Your Honor, that Victoria's grades would be kept up in school.
Well, that's right here. C's are better.
Yep.
Have you been doing that?
Here's a copy
Yes,
of
I
her
have.
grades and an honorable mention in our newspaper for this first quarter's.
How was your daughter doing in school when she was living with you, sir?
Not well. I sent her to another school, and she seems to have done better. I sent her to a lockdown adolescent.
When did you do that?
2000.
Well, evidently, that didn't work out either.
It cost $28,000 to get her in there, and I did through all the therapies and everything I could with her. She was out of control. She was listed as a runaway more often than not.
Something wasn't right, sir. But evidently, whatever it was that wasn't right is better now that she's living with the plaintiff.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She's finally learned her lessons and decided she can't be a thug that smokes, drinks, and stays out with the boys, have sex with the boys in my room, and leaves the evidence behind for me to clean up.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 18-year-old Victoria Cahoot says her father, David Cahoot, owes for the cost of her living expenses. David says Victoria should be living at home.
Whatever it was, it seems to have been resolved with her living with the plaintiff. Have you seen a copy of your daughter's grades?
Yes, I have, and that's just a recent thing, ma'am.
Recent or not, it appears to me that living with the plaintiff seems to have resolved, at least temporarily and hopefully permanently, the problems that your daughter was having, at least scholastically. Wouldn't you say that that's true, sir?
I would not say that living with her has caused all this to be the success. I think finally it's Victoria that has finally come around, and with all the school that cost me so much, she's finally learned her lessons and decided she can't be a thug that smokes, drinks, and stays out with the boys, have sex with the boys in my room, and leaves the evidence behind for me to clean up.
Sir, usually when children act out very badly, they're trying to make a statement. Now, that's not to say that she should not be responsible for what she does. She is responsible. What I'm looking for you to do is to take responsibility for what you and your ex-wife have done to her. Because if you think that it's a normal arrangement for a child to live with one parent, then go to the other, go back to one parent, then go to the other, that is not a normal arrangement, sir. And I don't know whether, and I'm certainly not going to get into the fact with you or your daughter, because I think it's counterproductive as to whether what she says is true, that you have an alcohol abuse problem.
No, ma'am, I do not.
Well, I said I'm not getting into that, because just as I don't think it's productive for you to have brought up to me, now with your daughter here, the negatives of her past behavior, so too, sir, do I think that it would be stupid for me to explore whether she was right or wrong in saying that you had a substance abuse problem. Do you understand? And were abusive to her. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the only issue that I have to resolve in this case is whether your daughter was living with Mrs. James with your permission. Your answer says she was not living there with your permission, that your home was always open to her.
Yes, ma'am.
And therefore, you are not liable for her support. The contract that you witnessed in October of 2001, which outlined the rules for your daughter remaining in Mrs. James's home, is testament to the fact that your daughter was living there with your permission and approval. That being the case, sir, you are responsible for her support. Period. End of discussion. The only issue is how much. Put your hand down, madam. Do you get support for your daughter from her mother?
No longer, ma'am.
When did it stop?
On her 18th birthday.
Which was when?
18 February.
So from the time she came to Mrs. James's home for the last 19 months, or 18 months, you were getting support from Vicky's mother for her. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
In what amount?
$275 a month.
What were you doing collecting support for her when she wasn't living with you?
I maintain a home for her.
No, 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 sir. I'm already telling you. You permitted her to live with Mrs. James with your not only tacit approval, with your active approval in witnessing this agreement. You said, keep her. She's too much trouble for me. I'm giving you my permission to keep her. I'm witnessing the agreement that you two are signing to permit her to live in your house. That doesn't mean she's living there without your permission. Your door is open. You may have spoken to a lawyer who said to you, listen, as long as you can convince a judge that your door is always open and that all she has to do is abide by your rules, you're not responsible for her support. That's not the case here, sir. She lived outside your home with your permission, and you're responsible for her support. Not only that, would you be responsible for her support, but you're getting support from her mother for her and keeping it. You can't do that. $4,950 so far. Next, did you claim her on your tax returns last year?
Yes, ma'am.
She wasn't living with you for the full year.
She was living with me 6 months.
So you took advantage of her status as a minor child without any of the downside, which means that you kept her mother's money, the $275, you claimed her on your tax returns. You didn't do the right thing, sir.
And I provided the medical for her, which is not inexpensive.
Just a second.
I provided medical, and I still
How
do.
much? Just a second. How much does it cost you to provide medical coverage for your daughter?
Because I'm a retired military officer.
Yes.
We get it for the entire family for $460 a quarter, which is full coverage.
Just a second. $460 a quarter for the entire family. That's you and who else?
Her.
$1,840 a year. Now, what is an individual plan?
They charge me $90 for a quarter.
Show me.
I don't think I have that down here. I just have where I have her on here. And I have my medical bills I spent during that time on her.
Good.
Because I did cover her.
Good.
The bills where I covered her, you would like to see them, ma'am?
No. Did you spend more than $5,000?
A year? No, ma'am.
No.
Close to, well, a year. With Victoria and all, it was about $800 for a year. Total.
$800 you spent.
Plus, ma'am, earlier though, on this, when I had sent her this, this adolescent treatment team there in Reno, which she was diagnosed with oppositional defiance disorder, and a very big handful, and I did my best, Your Honor, to do what I could to. I went to family psychology meetings with her, and everything. She asked me to quit my job. I did.
Listen to me, sir. What I'm saying to you is your daughter seems to be doing fine. And what I'm saying to you is we're talking about money. And so far, your ex-wife contributed to you almost $5,000 in support for your daughter who wasn't living with you. Now, let us assume that each of you have a 50% responsibility to support your child. That means you would pay $5,000 and your ex-wife would pay $5,000. And so far, you've told me that in a year, you spent $800 on your daughter, which, even if you had no obligation to pay support for her, which you do, still leaves $3,500 that you wound up in profit. Profit. From what your ex-wife sent to you for the support of your child that you didn't turn over to her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I paid $200 a month to have someone pick Victoria up while I was working for the post office to take her into school every day, and I picked her up when I got off work in the middle of my night, so to speak, because I work nights at there. She requested that. She said, Dad, everything will be great if you quit your job.
You're talking about when she was living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't care when she was living with you. That's what you do. You're her parent. You do whatever you have to do. I'm talking about between you and a stranger. Did you pick her up, pay $200 a month for somebody else to pick her up from school when she was living with Mrs. James?
She rides the bus.
I'm asking you a question.
No.
I don't care what you spent on her. I don't care if you spent the last dime that you had in the bank. She's your child. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm talking about when she was living with Mrs. James.
Anytime she called me and says, Dad, I need something, she got it.
You took money designated for her by the courts and sent to you by her mother and used it for yourself, sir. That's what you did. That is not permissible. That goes to her. That's for her support, not to divert some of your own expenses.
Ma'am, I was attempting to be a parent, and Ms. James was not allowing me to be a parent.
Then what were you doing signing this
I was
document?
trying to make my child safe. If she's going to run around, I at least want to know where she's at, with whom
Then
she's
you
with.
know, then she's there with your permission.
She still has a bedroom there and a bed in there to go
Let me
into
explain
it?
something to you. You can't double talk me, sir.
No, ma'am, it's the
You
truth.
can't. No, you're double talking me. You went there. You understood where your daughter was living. It has been a good arrangement for your daughter. Clearly, it has been a good arrangement for her. And your responsibility as a parent is to see to it that your daughter is supported. Now, I'm not even getting into what your individual responsibility would be for her support. But minimally, the money that her mother sent to you, court-ordered for support, should have gone to Mrs. James. And I'm not belaboring the point, and that's $4,590, sir. That you had no right to take from your daughter. You had no right to take from Mrs. James. You had an obligation to turn it over to her immediately. And if you don't understand that, I'm not spending any more time, wasting my time trying to explain it to you. You had no right to take her money. Period. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,590. That's all. $950. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Ms. James has been a scam artist for quite some time now with selling of drugs and selling her body, and I think this is just an extension of that.
He's just angry because he lost, and there's no truth to it. He knows that. I know that.
I was being threatened with murder. They were shooting holes in my trucks. They were calling me, threatening me in the middle of the night to kill me, her boyfriends.
They knew my father was abusive, and they didn't like it. They saw what he did to me.
That's the ultimate insult, the ultimate betrayal. In all actuality, I probably don't even have a daughter now, in my mind.
Friend's mother, store manager Bernice Irwin, for assaulting her and breaking her cell phone. Bernice claims Jamie was in her house without her permission.
All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. All rise.
Now, this is case number 40 on the calendar in the matter of Dickinson versus Irwin. You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Dickinson, Miss Irwin is your boyfriend's mother.
Yes.
I assume this is the boyfriend.
Yes, he is.
How long have you been his girlfriend?
We're actually broken up right now. We were dating for about a month.
Not dating anymore?
No.
Any particular reason?
We were good friends, and I didn't want to ruin our friendship.
Okay. It is your complaint that Mrs. Irwin, for no good reason, broke your cell phone.
Yes, she did.
And you want her to pay for it.
Yes.
And Miss Irwin says you were an uninvited guest in her home, and that precipitated this incident with the cell phone. So why don't you tell me when this happened?
This happened in February, the 21st. Ryan and I were dating at the time. We had gotten back to his house and we were watching TV, relaxing.
Where were you watching TV?
Up in his living room. And Bernice came home.
Bernice, that's you?
Yes. And she came home yelling and freaking out on Ryan. She began to yell at him even more and put him down.
What was she saying?
You're a loser, you're good for nothing. And then she began to hit him, smack him in the face.
What did he say to her?
Nothing. Nothing was really said. She was just like, you're a loser. And Ryan was just simply not saying anything because I was present.
And when she came into the living room, she was yelling at me, and then she had hit Ryan across the face, and then she did it a few more times, and I told her that if she had kept hitting him, that I was going to call the cops, because I did not feel comfortable whatsoever. She looked at me and said, I'll do whatever I want, this is my house, hit him again, and that's when I had called for police assistance.
Okay, so you used your cell phone to call the police?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what happened next?
When I was on the phone with the police, she was still yelling at Ryan, and they got it on tape and everything like that. And I had said I need police assistance to this address. And then she had noticed I was on the phone with the cops, and then she had attacked me. And I have pictures here of the bruises from when she grabbed my arm and my wrist.
Is that when your phone was broken?
Yes.
Well, tell me how it got broken, Miss Dickinson.
I was on the phone, and she had grabbed my arm, and then she was fighting with me. I was telling her to let go of me, not to touch me. And then she grabbed the top half of my cell phone and snapped it off, and opened her front door and threw it outside in the snow.
Okay. Now I'll see the police report, please.
Okay. I also have pictures of the bruises. Would you like to see them?
Yes.
And there's also pictures of my cell phone. No.
Is this the only police report that you have?
Yes, there was no police report written. It was just a log entry.
Okay. Step up, please. Your first name is Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
How old are you, Ryan?
18.
You're not living in your mother's home anymore, is that right?
Yes.
Who are you living with now?
I'm staying with friends now.
How long has it been since you haven't been getting along with your mother?
As long as I can remember.
When did you ultimately move out of the house?
She kicked me out a couple weeks ago after she got arrested for domestic assault on me.
Why don't you get along with your mother?
Because she's crazy.
I also have the police log from her arrest, if you'd like to see that.
I would. Are you going to school, Ryan?
No, not right now.
You working?
No, not currently.
How are you supporting yourself?
I really haven't been.
Okay. All right, Miss Irwin, what kind of work do you do?
I'm a store manager.
Were you working on the 21st of February?
I was.
What were your hours of employment?
On that particular day, I worked till about 6 p.m.
Did you go directly from the store home?
I did not.
Where did you go?
I went to a friend's house, and then I came home.
What time did you get home?
Approximately 7 to 7:30 p.m.
And you came home and you found your son and his girlfriend watching television?
They were in my living room. My house was a total disaster. Ryan was not allowed to have any guests at my home without my permission, which he continued to do so, and I was quite angry.
Had you ever met this young lady before?
Once or twice, yes.
Where?
One time at my house, and another time she was leaving my house for a few minutes. That was it.
You never had any problem with her?
No, I didn't.
So what happened when you came home on the 21st?
I'd asked Ryan why he had a guest in my home. We'd had many problems in the past with him having company, and I told him he was not allowed to have anybody in my home without my permission. Ryan got very angry at me and started swearing, cursing, calling me several names. He then spit in my face, literally, and I slapped him across the face once. At that point, Jamie had gotten off my sofa and started calling me names that I will not even repeat, and I asked them to leave my house. They refused.
Shh. Yes?
She did threaten she was going to call the police. I, at that time, told her if indeed she called the police, my son probably would have been arrested because he was on probation.
For what?
Numerous things, assault and battery, disturbing the peace. He was on probation for assault and battery on a police officer.
That's serious stuff?
It had
Ryan?
been serious stuff.
That's serious stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so she called the police.
Yeah, I didn't know she was on the phone. I had just got done telling her if indeed she called the police. There
was a lot of screaming going around, so
Yes, there was.
Everybody was screaming. I want to know how her phone got broken.
She got on the phone with somebody, I'm not sure who, saying that I was abusing my son, which was not true.
That was with the police.
My son had just spit in my face, and I did slap him across the face after he had called me several vulgar names. One time I did slap him across the face. Yes, I did. He
I
deserved
want to know
it.
how her phone got broken.
Well, she was on the phone, and I, at that point, once again told her, if you want to make the phone call, go outside. I need you to get out of my house. And she refused to leave, so I took the phone out of her hands. And as far as I know, it was the top part of her cell phone that did snap off. And at that point, I threw it outside to make them leave my house. I'd asked them several times to leave.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have you ever been in trouble with the law?
Nope, never.
He has been.
I understand that.
Set your sights a little higher. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I have a new
Don't say
boyfriend.
anything, Ryan.
And later today,
Buster's a stubborn dog, there's no doubt about it.
I have a very stubborn dog, but she has been very, very well trained.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jamie Dickinson says her ex-boyfriend's mother owes for breaking her cell phone. Bernice Irwin claims Jamie was trespassing on her property.
Okay. There are a couple of things that I don't quite understand, Miss Irwin, and I think that probably you would have been more prudent if when you came home and found Ryan there watching television with his girlfriend, you waited until she left and then confronted him. As far as I've heard, they weren't doing anything untoward. They were sitting and watching television in your living room. So when you came home and started to go off on him in front of his girlfriend, especially a kid that you'd had trouble with and that clearly has a temper, that probably wasn't the most prudent thing to do. And then there was a lot of yelling and screaming. However, Miss Dickinson was an invited guest to your home. She was invited by your son, who lives there, or did then. And whatever argument you were having with your son, and I'm not going to get into slapping him in the face or screaming or yelling or bad names, I'm not getting into that. The only thing that's before me is whether you're responsible to buy her a new cell phone. I believe her when she says that she told you she was going to call the police, and I believe you knew she was calling the police because that's what she said she was going to do. And at that time, if you grabbed her by the arm and grabbed her cell phone and snapped it off and then threw it outside, you're responsible to buy her a new cell phone. It seems to me that there was an altercation in your home and it was getting out of hand. It was a good thing that she was calling the police. So why would you be angry? So, how much was the cell phone?
It is $199.99. I have the paper from the website singular.com.
Okay, can I see it, please? And the cell phone. Who is this person?
Carol, a friend of mine.
Was she there that evening?
She wasn't there that evening.
Okay. This is one of these cute little phones that takes pictures?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't take pictures. Okay, that's all you're suing for, the cost of the cell phone. Anything else you want to tell me?
No, that about covers everything.
What do you do for a living, Miss Dickinson?
I babysit. And I used to work at CVS. I had just quit my job, though, because I'm still in high school, and I'm graduating this year. So it was kind of hard doing both.
Have you ever been in trouble with the law?
Nope, never.
He has been.
I understand that.
Lots of times. Set your sights a little higher. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I have a new
Don't say
boyfriend.
anything, Ryan. You've got a little ways to go to get your act together, young man. Somebody who's 18 years old, who's not going to school, who's not working, who's not supporting themselves, who's got an arrest history, according to your mother, that's lengthy, is not going down the right path. The yellow brick road is eluding you, Ryan. You're going to have to find it. Otherwise, you're going to be dead by the time you're 30. That would be a shame, right? Be smart. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $199. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm a little confused about the whole thing, actually. I don't really believe that I broke Jamie's cell phone.
I was not brought up that way. I was brought in a very well-nurtured home where no violence is present.
I did ask her to leave my home along with my son.
Mom overreacts a whole lot.
I'm really hoping that we can be friends yet again, mother and daughter. Mother and son, I'm sorry.
That'd be wonderful if it could, but I don't know if that could ever happen.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Horn Torres versus Cunningham. Step forward, please.
25-year-old homemaker Deanna Horn Torres is suing dog trainer Brian Cunningham for injuring her dog Buster during a session. Brian says he did nothing out of the ordinary.
Miss Torres?
Yes.
And this is Buster?
Yes.
And Buster was behaving badly. How old is Buster?
He's 4 months.
Where did you get him?
We got him from a breeder.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a boxer.
Did the breeder tell you that boxers are hard to train?
No, she didn't.
Is he hard to train?
He's doing better, but he is a little difficult. Yes, yes.
He doesn't look interested in what's going on here, I'll tell you that right now. Well, according to what your complaint states, because you were having some difficulty in training Buster on your own, you asked your vet for a recommendation.
Yes.
Had you used this vet before?
Yes.
You think that the vet that you used was a good one?
Yes.
And your vet recommended Mr. Cunningham?
Yes.
And said he was a good dog trainer?
Yes.
And you made an agreement with him. I think his whole fee was $525, and you paid him, and it is your claim that he hurt your dog during the training sessions, and you want a full refund.
Yes.
The $525 that you paid Mr. Cunningham was for how many sessions?
He didn't give me an amount. He said he would come to my house until I was completely satisfied. He didn't tell me how long it would take.
I offer everybody, it's a 6-week course or until the dog is completely trained.
What kind of trained? You mean potty trained, crate trained?
Housebreaking, chewing, digging, obedience is how we do it.
What if you get a really dumb dog?
There aren't really very many dumb dogs. It's just folks, you've got to follow up with the instruction I give you.
What about stubborn dogs?
Very stubborn sometimes. Buster's a stubborn dog, there's no doubt about it.
I have a very stubborn dog. But she has been very, very well trained.
That's good.
All right, Ms. Torres, tell me what happened.
He had came 3 times to my house. The first day, everything went fine. The second time he came, there was a pink mark around the dog's neck, and he told me it was because the dog was a white dog and it would go away. And it did. Within 2 hours, it was gone. And so the next time he came, the dog ran under the bed to hide. Well, whenever he came out...
That's all right. You can leave him alone. He's fine.
As soon as he put the collar around the dog's neck, the dog snapped at him. And so when he was being rough with him, we asked him, why are you being so rough? And he said that he had to do it to keep him from snapping at people. So we said, okay, well,
You mean the dog bit the inside of his mouth?
Yes. And so at that time, we ended the session. He took the collar off the dog, and the dog ran underneath the bed. And when I went to the dog, I had noticed the injuries that I do have pictures of. And my husband talked to Brian later on the phone and told Brian that we didn't want his services anymore. We couldn't have him abuse our dog.
Okay, so let me see the photographs that you took. Okay, Mr. Cunningham, I'll hear you.
Your Honor, I've been training dogs for 17 years. I have 2 witnesses to tell you what kind of trainer I am.
Tell me your name.
Barbara Buquay.
Step up, please. Are you just a satisfied customer?
Oh, I'm absolutely satisfied.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Maltese, Sophie.
Little one?
She's very small, yes. She's about 5 pounds.
Does she bark?
Well, actually, she does not bark. No, not usually.
Good.
Yes, I know. I'm so happy with her, and I'm so happy with Brian.
Okay. You, sir?
My name is Victor McDougall, and Brian has trained 2 dogs for me. The first one was Tara, and she had a little problem with liking to chew on furniture and stuff. And, Brian helped me train her and get her out of that. And most people would tell me that, boy, I wish my kids listened as well as my dog. So, yeah, so that's always good to hear.
Okay. Have a seat. So this is my problem, Mr. Cunningham. I believe that you are a good dog trainer.
Thank you.
And I believe that because their vet, that they have tremendous confidence in, recommended you.
Yes.
And you bring 2 witnesses who I have no reason to doubt that say that you've been wonderful with their animals. This didn't work out. Whether you pulled a little too hard, whether the dog bruises easily, I don't know what happened. But these people did not cause this injury to the dog. I can understand they're being upset. Does it sound like you're losing yet, sir?
No, it doesn't.
Good. Perfect. Would you give these to Mr. Cunningham, please? We have to know when to...
Okay.
Take them back now, please. Now, you have a whole bunch of satisfied customers. And I don't think that, based upon what these people tell me, that this is standard fare for you, because otherwise their vet would not have recommended you, and you have satisfied customers. So if these people are not satisfied, you should have given them back their money and said, in 17 years, I never had this kind of problem. I don't want this kind of problem now. My time is too valuable.
Your Honor,
yes,
if I
Mr.
may,
Cunningham.
I believe that I should be paid for my time. If
Well-
I show up 4 times and they refuse to accept any of my, I understand that. The dog, you know what, here's the thing. Had they been working the dog every week, only 10 minutes a day, that would not have been the case
Mr. Cunningham,
ever.
you know how kind I was just being to you before a moment ago? I was being kind to you because like 10 million people are going to watch this. A lot of them have dogs. So I was trying to be kind and say, you're a wonderful dog trainer.
Well, I am.
This was an aberration. You should have just said, going to return your money, and that's it. But since you don't seem to get it, what I'm going to tell you is this, sir. If you went to their house first time and then came back for the next session and you found that they weren't following your direction,
Yes.
at that point you could have said, just a minute, I can't work this way. I'm not going to treat this dog in any way that's
treat the dog any rougher.
in any way that's rough, that's going to leave this kind of bruising. Here's your money back. Not the 4th time you came to the house, but the 2nd time you came to the house and said, I can't work with you people. I could work with that dog, but I can't work with you. So here's your money back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $525. Clearly, this dog is not intimidated by anything, not even my voice.
No, ma'am.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Yeah, this is case number 270 on the calendar in the matter of Levin versus Richter.
Thanks, Bert.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Levin, according to your complaint, you rented a room from the defendant. You were there for a relatively short period of time. You claim you left as a result of her constant harassment, both sexual harassment and otherwise, and you are seeking a substantial amount of money for that harassment and the stress that she caused you, in addition to the return of your security deposit, which I believe was $200. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Ms. Richter says that you were the source of the irritation in the household, that you caused her a great deal of stress and aggravation, that you left your room in miserable condition when you left, and you also left owing some bills. So she is counterclaiming. Is that right, Ms. Richter?
Yes, that's right.
All right. Mr. Levin, how did you find this room in the defendant's home?
It was advertised in a local newspaper.
Did you have a job that time close by to where the defendant was living?
I've been disabled. I'm a physician, general practice. I've been disabled since 1995 due to what has turned into 7 neck operations.
Do you have a private house?
I have a mobile home.
So the room that you were renting was in a mobile home?
It's a mobile home park, and I have a small room in that home, yes.
How much was the monthly rent?
$400.
When did you move in?
It was July 20th, I believe.
Of this year?
Of this year, yes.
And when did you move out?
I moved out several times because I was hospitalized several times during the month and a half or so that I was there. But I moved my things out September 2nd and 3rd.
So far, are those dates correct?
No, none of them.
Okay, when did he move in?
He brought his things over 2 days before the 1st.
Of what?
Of July. And he moved in the day before the 1st of July. And he moved out on the 4th of September.
Okay. Did he pay July's rent?
He paid July's rent,
$400.
yes.
And he gave you a security deposit. Is
He
that
gave
correct?
me, yeah.
$200.
He gave me $200 security deposit.
Okay.
That's
And did he
correct.
pay August's rent?
He paid August rent and then canceled the checks.
Is that correct, sir?
The whole thing is...
Is that correct, sir?
no, it is not.
Did you pay for the month of August?
Yes, and I did. And I also paid $200 for food.
Don't tell me food.
Prior
no
to that.
food. Rent. Did you give her $400 in August?
Yes.
1st of August for rent. You have that canceled check.
I
assume
don't.
You do.
I have the canceled checks.
I'll see it, please. Okay. Mr. Levin, what caused you to move out of the house?
Your Honor, I moved into the home initially because of my disability. I've had chronic pain, and I've also developed an illness called polyneuropathy, where my feet are like on fire all the time, and I needed help. The arrangement was Ms. Richter would make food, make lunches for me daily.
Ms. Richter, don't play with your papers. Listen carefully to what he's saying.
I'm listening.
And she would make dinner for me. And I paid extra $200 for that. and that was the understanding. At these meals, she would talk constantly, and it became evident to me that I was almost being used as a mate in this home.
As a mate?
As a mate. And I was being talked to as if I was her partner. And then what happened that made me move out was that she began to look at my body, and she looked at my legs at one point, and then she says, "You have really nice legs." I wear shorts all the time. And at that point, I was very disgusted. I'm not interested in a 72-year-old woman in that way. I'm a physician and a professional person. So I realized at that time I better not have meals with her. I didn't want to listen to her talk as if I was her mate. I didn't want her looking at my body.
What would she say, sir, that suggested to you she was talking as if you were her mate?
Well, I would have to listen to all of her history of where she lived and what all the people that she knew and where she worked and the different stores that she owned, and look at the pictures of her in her stores and get to know all about her. And then when I didn't know...
That doesn't sound like a mate. I don't even talk to my mate over meals.
Well, when I didn't...
You have a newspaper. What are newspapers for?
When I didn't know enough, I was told, you don't know anything about me. At any rate...
Have you ever been married, sir?
Yes, I have been.
How long were you married?
I was married for 14 years.
And you talked to your wife over dinner like that?
I talked to my wife and children at dinner.
Over dinner, like that? You know, a whole bunch of stories and pictures and history? No, you don't.
Well,
she was a friend. I mean, I don't understand
no,
why you...
there was more, because I was not interested in listening to her talk about herself constantly.
What did she think she should be talking about?
I didn't even want to talk. I wanted to have my food and...
In peace.
And peace, which is guaranteed as part of a... when you rent a room, you're guaranteed peace of mind. That's part of the rental agreement.
Dr. Levin, when you rent a room from someone in a mobile home, you're not in Graceland. It's sort of a confined space. So it would seem to me if she made you dinner, she would make herself dinner at the same time and sit down and eat with you.
But, Your Honor, that wasn't the plan. The plan...
That wasn't the plan in your mind. The plan in your mind was she would prepare meals, leave them, and leave you alone to eat. If that's what the sexual harassment part of your claim is.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. The harassment was when she started looking at my body in the kitchen and looking at my legs and saying, "You have kind of nice legs." And that was to me, very demeaning.
You have nice legs?
That's not for me to comment on. I'm sorry.
Well, if somebody told me I had nice legs, I wouldn't consider that sexual harassment, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Richard Levin says ex-roommate 72-year-old Margot Richter won't return his security deposit. Margot says Richard was impossible to live with.
All right, let's go. I don't think much of this harassment, sexual harassment. Let's move on to what you want. You want your security deposit back?
I was injured by this woman in a number of ways beyond wanting the security deposit.
So tell me the rest.
I opened up to her emotionally as if I was a confidant. I could talk to her. I thought she was a friend. I'd suffered from depression throughout my life and had a problem with my father. And she makes a statement to me after I stopped having meals there. She makes a statement, "Oh, I know why your father hated you. You're a horrible person." To me, that was really an upsetting comment. I was also told, "I hope you choke to death on that sandwich that you're eating." And I didn't exactly need that kind of comment either when I'm in chronic pain and having a lot of medical problems. I was given...
You really didn't have...
I would like to
Ms.
finish.
Richter, don't speak to him.
There was a restraining order that I couldn't come within 10 feet of the woman, which meant I couldn't use the kitchen. So no longer could I have food made, or I couldn't even try to make it for myself. I had to eat out of the back of my pickup truck, out of a cooler, for 2 weeks. I was also assaulted physically by the woman.
Tell me how you were assaulted physically, because you mentioned that, but you don't really talk about it in your complaint.
I was trying to get some butter to put on some oatmeal from the refrigerator, and she has...
Was that before or after the restraining order?
This was before.
Go ahead.
I opened the refrigerator. She has a thing about not keeping the refrigerator open more than 2 seconds. This was maybe 3 seconds. I reach for the butter. She grabs my wrist, shoves me out of the way, and I'm unable to walk, and my feet are extremely painful.
What a lie.
And I do not feel that She has that right to shove me physically. I called the police, and deputy came to the house, and he asked me if I wanted her arrested. And I said, yes.
Was she arrested?
This is assault.
Was she arrested?
He did not arrest her.
Okay. Did you get your security deposit back?
I was told at the end, do not clean your room. I was feeling throughout this time that this woman was very jealous that I had a girlfriend. She comes and she pounds on the door when I'm on the phone with my girlfriend in the evening, screaming and pounding on the door. She got the phone number somehow of my girlfriend. This was a few weeks ago. She calls her up and spends 20 minutes telling her what a horrible person I am.
Why didn't your girlfriend hang up?
I don't know.
Why don't you ask her?
I did.
And what did she say?
She said that she doesn't do that to people.
Doesn't hang up on people?
Yeah.
Where are you living now?
I'm living in La Jolla.
With whom?
I'm living by myself in an apartment.
By yourself? No more girlfriend?
I have a girlfriend.
She stay over?
She lives where she lives.
And so you just visit?
Yes.
Fine. You're getting along okay by yourself?
I'm doing my best, but I also feel I have been harmed by this woman, and I do feel that my suit is just.
Well, not every affront, Dr. Levin, is cause for a lawsuit. What you were complaining about was first some harassment by her because she was treating you as a mate, which is something you hadn't bargained for. But then later you said to me that you confided in her as a friend about certain things about your own life and your relationship with your father. So it's clear to me that this just wasn't a one-sided conversation where you were trying to blindly have your dinner and she was just yakking off at the mouth and you just wanted to be quiet. There was a conversation.
Which ended with the business about my body.
Stop saying your body, sir. Talk about the fact that she looked at your legs while you were in shorts and she said to you, you have nice legs. If, in fact, she said that at all. I mean, that's not something that would send a rational person into a tailspin.
Well, it was more than the statement. It was the feeling that went with it. You can tell when a person is doing
I
that.
don't think that she was prepared to attack you, Dr. Levin.
No, I wasn't worried about being attacked. It was
You
a
were worried
feeling
about what?
that she had other ideas than my just sitting there and eating meals, that I was to be something more than a renter.
Well, that's possible, sir. Maybe she felt as if you had developed a friendship over the course of the month or so that you were living there. You confiding in her about your intimate history, she confiding in you about her intimate history. Maybe she felt as if you were just shy and not prepared to make the first move. Now, she is, as you point out in your complaint, somewhat older than you are, but is your girlfriend somewhat younger than you are?
No.
The same age? Good for you. Like to hear that. Don't like to hear about these guys dating.
That's wrong, too. She's quite a bit younger.
No, she's a year older than I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, she probably looks pretty good then.
Yes, Your
She
Honor.
ever been married?
I don't know.
You don't know if your girlfriend's ever been married?
I don't choose to discuss it.
She's never been married. She has no children. Now I know why she looks terrific.
She has children.
All right. Let me get to your counterclaim.
The real damage was my being unable to eat when I couldn't use the kitchen. I couldn't be within 10 feet of this woman.
It's a lie.
I had to eat out of the back of my truck while
Dr.
ill.
Levin, is that as a result of a court order?
This was, yes, I couldn't be within 10 feet of her.
I cannot look beyond that, sir. I cannot look beyond the order of another court that says you cannot be within 10 feet or whatever of the defendant. That's something that a court determined that they were prepared to impose as a result of some fact, which I'm not prepared to get into now. Now, you didn't return his security deposit.
No, because it was used up.
Okay.
Because he canceled the checks, and then he gave me only one check for the rent back. And
I have a stop payment on this check, sir, that's made out to Margot Richter, dated the 3rd of August for $433 for August's rent and July's utilities. Did you cancel a check that you sent to her?
Yeah, but I did. I paid it after that.
No, you didn't.
When I
Just a whole
decided
check.
to stay, I did pay it.
Can I see a copy of your check?
I don't have it.
Well,
I
then
haven't
the
felt
only
well
thing-
enough to find anything, Your Honor,
Dr.
when I
Levin,
try to get these
Dr.
papers.
Levin, this is, you have a whole bunch of papers there, and it would seem to me that you would know that I would ask you to make sure that there was rent paid each month that you were living there and utilities. And the only thing that I have is a check that you stopped payment on, dated August 3rd. And also a check that you stopped payment on, dated August 4th, that you indicated here were for lunches. Now, so you say the security deposit was used up.
Yes.
I agree with you, because he didn't pay the rent for August. So you don't have to return a security deposit. Now, what else are you suing him for? I want to hear about your stress.
Okay, he called the police twice on me. He called the fire department and said I gave him a heart attack. And
Honor,
he crushed he was never home on during the day. He was always on the beach. That's what he told me anyway. And that Sunday, I have planned my barbecue for the longest. Once a year, I have a barbecue, and my friends come from far away. And he wanted to crash my party, so he stayed home and called the police on me.
Miss Richter.
Yeah.
Are you happy to be rid of him?
Oh, yes, I am.
So now you're rid of him.
Yeah, but I have been, I'm not the same, I tell you that.
Well,
I only had 4 hours sleep because I can't sleep. I'm on pills.
Why can't you sleep now? Now he's gone.
Because all the flashbacks I have from him.
Stop the flashbacks. Listen to me. Did you ever rent a room in your trailer before?
Did you see the letters he wrote me? And
let me see the letters he wrote you.
Your Honor, when I came back from
I'm speaking. Did you ever rent a room before, Miss Richter, in your
No,
trailer?
never.
Are you
No.
ever going to do it again?
Never. No.
Okay, good. That sounds right to me.
May I say something, Your Honor?
Certainly.
I do not agree that I was causing all this trouble.
Yes, you have.
This is something
Listen, you didn't get along together. That was a problem. What else? Miss Richter.
He grabbed, I would like to tell you a story what happened when he called the police the first time. Like he said, he
Your jacket's on my chair, your toothbrush by the sink. It's crazy how your things are staying more than you think. We used to talk past midnight, now we just watch the clock. I'm holding in a landslide, you're ready at the door lock. So I'll pull the curtains on us, let the credits roll in my head. We had a hell of a run, but love can't live on almost said. I fold the pictures, pack the promises, leave them in a cardboard box. This is me choosing the silence over begging you to stop. Yeah. You're laughing through your phone at jokes I'll never hear. I'm standing in this kitchen like a stranger renting here. You kiss me out of habit, eyes 1,000 miles away. I read it like a warning, written in the way you stay. So I'll pull the curtains on us, let the credits roll in my head. We had a hell of a run, but love can't live on almost said. I'll fold the pictures, pack the promises, leave them in a cardboard box. This is me choosing the silence over begging you to stop. Maybe we were just a season, changing colors, losing light. I'd rather walk out in the daylight than fade out every night. So I pull the curtains on us, let the credits roll in my